The number of student athletes at a local high school is 300 and is increasing at a rate of 8% per year. Write an exponential growth function to model the situation, then find the number of student athletes after 5 years. So we have that this is an exponential growth function. We know that because it tells us, and we know that because it's increasing at a rate of 8%. So we're going to have to set up our exponential growth equation. That's y equals p times 1 plus r to the power t. So we need to know the principal or the initial value. We need to know the rate as a percent so we can turn it into a decimal by dividing it by 100. And we need to know what amount of time we are given as the exponent. So starting with the principal amount or the initial value, it says that the number of student athletes is 300 and that number is what's increasing. So 300 is what we're starting with as our p-value. Now the rate, we're told that that number 300 is increasing by 8% per year. So 8% is going to be our rate as a percentage. So we want to turn that into a decimal. So we're going to do 8 divided by 100. And if you still need to type that into Desmos, that's perfectly fine. You're just going to type 8 divided by 100, and that gives you 0.08. So that's the number that's going to go in as r in the equation. Then we want to know what is the total amount of student athletes after 5 years. Okay, as long as that rate is increasing by the year, then we just have to take 5 and plug that in for the number of years. Right, so we're going to take our equation and substitute in this information that we have now. So y is equal to the initial value of 300 times 1 plus the growth rate as a decimal, so 1 plus 0.08 raised to the power 5. So in Desmos, we only need to type in this information. We do not need to type y equals. We just want to calculate that total amount. So 300 times 1 plus 0.08 raised to the power 5. Also, just make a note to be careful when you're typing in your decimal numbers, because if you accidentally type 0.8, that's different than 0.08. So just be sure that you're typing in your decimals correctly. So this gives us the number of student athletes after 5 years is 440.7. So we can't have 0.7 of a student, so we would say about 441 students. So we're going to say, since we got 440 point, I think it was 79, let's see. Yeah, so it would be about 440.8 students, but we can't have 0.8 of a student, so we're going to say this is about 441 students for student athlete.